What if I told you that a shy kid from North Carolina who spent most of his teenage years locked away in his bedroom making YouTube videos that barely anyone watched would one day grow into a billionaire content creator, the most recognizable YouTuber on the planet, and the mastermind behind a digital empire that rivals Hollywood studios? This isn't a fairy tale. This is the story of Jimmy Donaldson, better known as MrBeast, a story of relentless reinvestment, obsession with content, and the wild idea that giving away money can make you one of the richest creators alive. Jimmy Donaldson was born on May 7, 1998, in Wichita, Kansas, but his childhood unfolded mostly in Greenville, North Carolina. By most accounts, Jimmy was a quiet kid. He wasn't the loudest in class, nor the most athletic, but what he lacked in social spotlight, he made up for with an obsessive curiosity. Jimmy's father was a U.S. Army veteran, and his mother, Sue, kept the household running. Money wasn't abundant, but the family lived modestly and comfortably. Jimmy grew up alongside his brother CJ, and from an early age, both boys gravitated toward video games, cartoons, and the internet. What set Jimmy apart, though, was not just a love of screens. It was a fascination with how things worked on those screens. While most kids played games to win, Jimmy would study the mechanics, watch forums, and get hooked on the idea of systems, the rules behind why something succeeded or failed. That same curiosity eventually landed on YouTube. At just 13 years old, Jimmy started uploading videos to a channel he called MrBeast's 6000. The name didn't mean much, just something that sounded cool to a teenager. His first uploads, gameplay videos, random clips, and commentary that looked like thousands of other small YouTube accounts. The videos got barely any views. But Jimmy wasn't discouraged. In fact, he was intrigued. Why did some channels blow up while others like his seemed invisible? What were the mechanics of the algorithm? Could it be reverse engineered? That question would haunt Jimmy, in the best way, for years. By the time he was in high school, Jimmy was completely obsessed with YouTube, not just making videos, but analyzing them. He and a small group of online friends would spend countless hours studying what made videos go viral. Was it the thumbnail, the title, the length, the pacing? Jimmy even created spreadsheets tracking thousands of YouTubers, their growth patterns, and their strategies. It was less of a hobby and more of a science experiment. This wasn't casual tinkering, it was full-on obsession. While other teenagers were thinking about dating or sports, Jimmy was thinking, how can I crack the YouTube code? After high school, Jimmy briefly enrolled in college, but within weeks he knew it wasn't for him. He hated it. More importantly, he knew exactly what he wanted to do instead. So in a bold move that terrified his family, Jimmy dropped out. He told his mom he was going to pursue YouTube full-time. She wasn't thrilled. In fact, at one point, she kicked him out of the house because she didn't think he was serious about building a real career. But Jimmy's response was simple. I'd rather be poor, doing what I love, than spend my life doing something I hate. The early years were brutal. Jimmy uploaded video after video with little traction, but then he had an idea. What if he made something so absurdly simple, but so hard to look away from, that it forced people to click? In 2017, Jimmy uploaded a video titled, Counting to 100,000. It was exactly what it sounds like. Jimmy, sitting in front of a camera, counting, out loud, until he reached 100,000. It took him over 40 hours. The video went viral. Suddenly, Jimmy wasn't just another small creator. He was the guy crazy enough to spend 40 hours counting numbers. And from there, the floodgates opened. Jimmy realized he had tapped into a formula, ridiculous, over-the-top stunts that no one else was willing to do. He read the entire dictionary on camera. He watched paint dry. He spent 24 hours inside a house made entirely of slime. People couldn't look away, and with each viral stunt, his subscriber count grew. But Jimmy wasn't just making wild content. He was making a critical business decision. Almost every dollar he earned, he reinvested into the next video. Instead of pocketing ad revenue or sponsorship money, Jimmy would spend it on bigger stunts, giving $10,000 to a stranger, then $50,000, then $100,000. By 2019, he was giving away houses, cars, even an entire private island. This reinvestment strategy was extreme. At one point, Jimmy admitted, "I've reinvested everything to the point of stupidity, just believing that we would succeed." But it worked. Jimmy wasn't just making viral videos, he was building a brand around generosity. The idea was genius. People love watching outrageous stunts, but they love it even more when those stunts make someone's life better. Giving away money wasn't just charity. It was content. And when giving becomes content, a beautiful cycle forms. The more money Jimmy gave away, the more views he got. The more views he got, the more money he earned. The more money he earned, the more he gave away. It was philanthropy and entertainment fused into one. By the early 2020s, MrBeast had become a household name. But Jimmy wasn't content with being just a YouTuber. He was building something bigger, an empire. Feastables, his chocolate brand, launched in 2022 and exploded. By 2024, it was generating over $215 million in sales. MrBeast Burger, a virtual restaurant brand, allowed fans to order Beast-themed burgers through delivery apps, expanding his presence into the food industry. And then came Beast Games, a mega competition show, deal with Amazon Prime, reportedly worth over $100 million. Each new venture followed the same principle: own the brand, control the product, and keep everything tied to his YouTube audience. One of Jimmy's most underrated moves was focusing on international audiences. He didn't just upload in English. He hired teams to dub his videos into Spanish, Hindi, Portuguese, and dozens of other languages. Today, MrBeast's content is available in over 40 languages, multiplying his reach far beyond the US. In many ways, Jimmy isn't just a YouTuber anymore. He's a global media network. So what's the secret sauce? Extreme reinvestment. Jimmy pours almost all profits back into production, spending up to $250 million a year on content. Diversification. From Feastables to gaming, burgers to media deals, his brand extends across industries. Ownership. He avoids licensing or selling out to major networks, keeping full control of his creations. Philanthropy is content. Giving is the engine that powers both impact and profit. Team culture. Jimmy credits loyal, passionate team members as one of his greatest assets. By 2025, MrBeast's empire is estimated to be worth $1 billion to $2.6 billion, with annual revenues between $600 and $700 million. He's not just a YouTuber anymore. He's a media mogul, a businessman, and an internet pioneer. And yet Jimmy insists he's just getting started. He often says his biggest videos haven't even been made yet. He doesn't own yachts, flashy cars, or luxury mansions. Instead, he reinvests, experiments, and dreams bigger. Because for MrBeast, the Ferrari isn't the prize. The prize is giving the Ferrari away, filming it, and then using that success to build an empire that can change millions of lives. As his manager, Reed Dukeshire, once put it, "A lot of people work really hard to get the Ferrari. Jimmy works really hard so we can give the Ferrari away and then later own the car dealership." Takeaways for zero to hero success. So what can we learn from MrBeast's journey? Start small, but start with obsession. Reinvest into yourself until it hurts. Diversify your streams and own your work. Use generosity as a growth engine. Build a loyal team, not just a business. Jimmy Donaldson didn't become MrBeast because he was born lucky or because he had money. He became MrBeast because he was willing to obsess over a dream, reinvest everything, and never stop experimenting. From a quiet kid in North Carolina to a billionaire creator shaping the future of entertainment, MrBeast's story proves one thing. On the internet, even the most unlikely dreamers can build empires, and in Jimmy's words, if you fail, figure out why, learn from it, and try again. That's really all there is.